welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I would like to do a review on this Travel Painter's pastel box. Now, I'm going to leave the brand name across the screen right now because I can't pronounce it and I don't want to try and pronounce it and then butcher the name. So I'm going to leave it linked or put across the screen now. But I picked this up from Jerry's Artarama. And if you remember, recently I have been experimenting with some different pastel storage options on my channel. I did a full review on the Roz Box 2, and that's the box that I'm currently keeping my my Schmincke pastels in. And I like that box okay. If you remember, I wasn't super impressed with it, to be completely honest, if you watched that review, but I'll leave it linked up in the iCards and in the description box down below in case you guys are interested, if you wanted to compare and you're trying to make a decision which box to purchase. But today's review is going to be about this travel box. So I'm going to go ahead and insert some shots now of the label or the plate, the little plaque on it, some of the features on the outside. It does have a really nice carry strap. It looks like it's made out of leather. You've got a really nice snap closure. You've got some feet on there on the bottom if you want to stand the box up. I am currently housing my Mount Vision pastels in here. As you can see, this box, unlike the Roz box, doesn't have a little slot for each individual pastel. They're more loose kind of in there, but you can organize them by color family or in any way that makes sense to you, rainbow order, whatever you wish to do. In mine, I chose to go, kind of in a rainbow order. I did yellows to oranges to reds, pinks and purples. In the next little tray, I went ahead and I put more purples to blues to teals to greens. And then down here, I've got like my grays. I've got the Thunderstorm Gray collection mixed in with some of those grays. There's more down there. I've got my earthy greens, my earths and neutrals in this one here. And in a little bit, I'm going to insert a clip showing you what happens if you just open this the way that it's intended to be opened without altering it at all. Because unfortunately, these little trays, you do get 4 of these trays. They are made of a really durable, thick plastic. I don't suspect that this would crack over the years. It looks like it is very thick, very well made, and it should last a really long time. It may yellow over time, but that's really not an issue at all. When you get it home, there's going to be different foam inserts for the bottoms of these trays. So inside each one of these little compartments, you have about 8 little compartments all together. You're going to have a thinner piece of foam on the bottom, which is what I have in here now. It's about the thickness or so of this, okay, for the lid. So that's what's down there now. But it also comes with these thicker pieces of foam that you can either stack them, so you can stack the thinner one and the thicker one to really fill it, or you could put the thicker one on the bottom and the thinner one on top and then close the lid down with this extra piece of foam. So you can customize these trays, is what I'm saying, to whatever thickness of pastel you have. As we know, soft pastels come in a variety of shapes and sizes, hardnesses and softnesses. So these big, thick, chunky Mount Vision pastels, there wasn't any way that I was going to get these in with the larger pieces of foam and still be able to close the box. So what I did was I removed those and I just laid it down on the thin piece of foam. Alternatively, you could remove the foam altogether if you wanted, but I really don't recommend that. I would think you'd want to cushion it. And then the lid itself on top has the finger holes that correspond with the little tray and has some cushioning as well. And I also like that the colors kind of transfer onto the black foam of the lid, so you can kind of remember which way to put it in if that matters to you, if you didn't want to like contaminate your pastels too much. So if you were going to use like a thinner pastel, like a Rembrandt, or a medium kind of size pastel like a Schmincke or Sennelier, you'd likely want to line it with you know, the thicker piece on the bottom, put the thinner piece on top, and then have your lid. And that would provide a lot of cushioning, really pack it nice and tight and secure, and prevent any kind of breakage or mishaps while you're traveling. But the one thing that I don't like about this box, and I've got to be honest because nothing is perfect, right, is when you've got these all closed up, and I'll show you here, all closed up and nice and secure, nothing really clicks or keeps these lids on. So unfortunately, especially if you're working with the chubbier pastels, as I am, when you go to open the box, and I'm going to insert a clip now of what can happen. Right, so I just opened this up. I didn't have rubber bands on these, and this is the mess that I've just made inside this box. So these were fully and completely organized, and now I'm going to have to organize them again because they slid and sort of all fell. So that really is kind of the downfall, unfortunately, of this box, is that, yeah, very unfortunately, if you're going to be using this box, I highly recommend that you put the rubber bands on to keep them secure and open it very slowly, because as you can see, I mean, this just turned into a big mess of pastels here. And I mean, you want to grab those rubber bands and put them on there and open this box incredibly slowly. I wish that they had put, you know, some sort of tray or with little tabs or something that would keep the tray locked down and secure, so that when you opened it, this type of situation wouldn't happen. This one did have the rubber bands on it. I wasn't being careful enough when I opened it, and some of the pastels still slid a little bit, but not nearly as bad. So you can see we were able to save this tray with the use of the drawing board rubber band. So as you could see from that clip, if you open them even really carefully while they're in these trays like this, they're bound to some of them are going to slip and fall out, unfortunately. So it's not too secure, but I found that that was really easily remedied with the use of some of these rubber bands for drawing or clipboards. They actually happen to be the perfect size. They're not too expensive. I got mine at Hobby Lobby for $4 for two. That might sound a little expensive, $2 a band, but I will tell you that they are pretty durable and they should last a really long time. Also, you've got these ridges kind of in the lid, so it seems to work really well. And you don't have to take the rubber band off. I found each and every single time that you open it, you can just kind of slide it to the side and open it that way and get your pastels out. But I highly recommend, if you're going to be investing in this painter's travel box, to get these rubber bands, because they're going to save your pastels. And I tell you, open it very gently and grab a hold of them as you open them so that the pastels aren't slipping and sliding out of there. The Mount Vision pastels are a medium soft pastel. They deposit a decent amount of color, but they're pretty durable. You know, they're hard enough where they're pretty durable, and they can take a little bit of abuse. I'm not 100% convinced that I would put my Schmincke pastels in here, to be honest, or like, for example, a Terry Ludwig or a very super duper soft pastel, unless you were keeping these for studio options, which really is not the point of this bag. It's supposed to be able to take, I'm sorry, not the bag, the box is supposed to be able to take it out plein air painting or traveling with you. I really like this, even though I'm a studio artist. I might choose to take this out one day, but even though I'm a studio artist, I have invested in almost the complete full set of the Mount Vision pastels. I've got hundreds and hundreds of them at this point, and I like the ability to open this up and at a glance see all my colors and everything that I have. I've put the half sticks in here so that I can select what I need before I do a painting on this channel, or even if I was out plein air painting. So I really like that versatility. You don't have the little individual slots, like I said, so if it's very important to you to keep them in some sort of very perfect order, this may not be your box for that reason. That's not super important to me. Like a lot of pastel artists, I want them in a general color grouping that makes sense to me, that makes it easier. But you know, I can pretty much look with my eye, my artist's eye, and go, okay, well, these ones go together and these blues kind of go together. You know what I'm saying? So I like the customization and the really personalization that you have with this box. The wood is a pretty sturdy construction, and like I said, so are these plastic containers. It's a nice thick plastic tray. You can also buy replacement trays, which is really nice if for whatever reason these happen to break. I don't suspect that they would. They seem really well made, so I don't predict that they would break on you. But if for whatever reason you damaged one, lost one, whatever, and you wanted to replace them, you could do that. Now, let me show you one other little con to this box. I'm going to push these up to the top. Do you see the space here? And same thing here. So there is extra space here. This is easily remedied. You could stuff something in there. You may even want to keep a few extra rubber bands, you know, in your box in case some break. And look at that, they just happen to fit perfectly in that space. But like I said, you really, I'm telling you guys, I think you need these if you're going to buy this box. It's worth it to add on to it to protect your investment, because not just do the lids kind of pop open because nothing's keeping them on, there's no clips or tabs or anything, but the addition of that movement. So when you're opening it, if the lid pops open and it slides down, your pastels may slip out. So I really, you guys, these rubber bands for clipboards or drawing boards, I think, and I think it's the only time I've ever used those rubber bands for anything in my art studio. But I really highly suggest that you do that. You may even want to take some glue tack or maybe just a spare piece of foam and stuff that to get rid of the movement. You know, not this piece of foam specifically because it's not going to fit, but you know, some little piece of foam stuffing, or hey, you know what? Maybe it could be an advantage. Maybe you want to bring with you a piece of vine charcoal or even a drawing pencil. You know, you could put a pencil there, a little graphite pencil, and it will do that. So you have a little bit of option there with what you choose to do. Although I will say, I'm going to have to get a palette knife in there to pick that back up. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably keep some spare rubber bands in there just in case these ones happen to break. So, what do I think of this box overall, and who do I think this is for? I think this is a great box. Keeping in mind the cons that we already discussed, I do think that it is a great box. Nothing's perfect, but so far this is my favorite pastel travel box that I have purchased for myself. I like it better than the Roz box. I like how many options I have with it, how many pastels I can fit in it. As long as I've got these rubber bands, and like I said, like let's say I wanted to go in there right now and pick out a purple or a pink, I can just move that rubber band right to the side and open this up without completely removing it every time, and I can go in there and get what I need now. So I really don't see that as too much of a con, but like I said, I think that keeps it very secure. The cost on this box can be a little bit pricey. We're coming in at around $120 price point. Do I think it's worth $120? Well, that's up to you, the consumer. Was it worth it for me? Yes. For me, it was absolutely worth it. I love this box. I enjoy this box. And I'm going to continue using it. Like I said, I would probably choose your medium soft pastels for this box, just because I think I mean, with the foam in there, if it was super secure and the rubber band, it would probably be okay, but I feel like your medium soft pastels like Rembrandt or Mount Visions, which are softer, but still, we're not, this is not a review on the pastels, but I think the pastels that can take a little bit more abuse, a little bit more wear and tear are likely going to be more suited to this box, just because, you know, they are going to be moving around a bit more in there. There's going to be a bit more movement versus a box like the Roz box where each pastel gets its own little slot inside. So I brought out this Rembrandt pastel because I wanted to show you that, as you can see, if you wanted to put full sticks in here, there is room vertically for a Rembrandt full stick. Also, I tested it with a Schminke. The Schminkes will fit as well. So if you wanted to use full sticks, you could. You have that option if you like. And that pretty much wraps up the review for today. I really do like this box. I highly, highly recommend it, as long as you're willing to invest in the rubber bands as well, because I think it needed that little fix to extra secure the pastels. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already and you would like to, please don't forget to hit that button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up before you go, because it really helps out my channel. Leave me some comments because I love hearing from you. And as always, have a great day, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!